While we're doing surveillance at this female's house, watching her, she comes out of a house and there is a brand new Jaguar, nice car. I can't even afford it. So she comes out and she's cleaning it, she's washing it, and she takes it off the street. And we follow her to a gas station, and while she's at the gas station about to pump gas with a stolen car, we detain her fast. So we discovered that that car was purchased in Ontario for, it was like $40,000-$50,000 with another victim's credit card. So that victim for that car was another innocent victim that had gone to a cemetery in Colton, and that was her method of operation. So we added on a bunch of felony charges, and she's currently in custody. We check up on the elderly lady, make sure she's okay, and that the credit cards refunded her stuff. So I thought that was a pretty cool case, and we got to protect them. So that's one of them, all right? That's one of the many. I'm going to talk about the one we wrapped up a couple of days ago. And this one, it was a high request from the media, from the reporters. And I'll give you the background on it. So this one happened at the south end of Bloomington off of Cedar. There were no suspects, and their method of operation is they would go to closed businesses between 02 and 6 in the morning in a brand new, nice Tesla that I can't afford. So these guys would go there wearing gloves, masks, backup, and then they'd shatter the glass for liquor stores from the businesses. From there, they would go straight over the counter, straight to the lottery tickets. They would steal a large amount of lottery tickets, high valued alcohol bottles, whatever cash they found, and cigarettes. And that was it. They were out. So the first case that we investigated was on the 1st of September that we took. The second one was on the 5th. That's when we got a lot of good information, and we wound up tracking them. So we located them at a house and an apartment in Los Angeles, over there by USC and the Coliseum, which is a super busy area. Did surveillance there for a while. That the same crew was hitting businesses in other counties, Riverside. With us, San Bernardino, we had at least 14 of them, ranging from Rancho Cucamonga to Chino Hills to the desert up there in Victor Valley. So a couple of days ago, we took one SWAT team with us to Los Angeles, a gang team, our detectives, our gang unit, and we hit 3 houses simultaneously, 2 in Los Angeles, 1 in Victorville, and we arrested them. So we arrested them, we recovered all the tools and a large amount of cash, alcohol stuff they had taken, and they currently sit at West Valley with and I tell you the high level of skills that these guys have. Out of all the agencies that were looking for them, Fontana Sheriff's found them and arrested them. So they were very pleased to see that. So that's what I tell you when you guys have go over it briefly. But this was also at a liquor store, the northern part of Bloomington. I'll just summarize that. There was an innocent person who went to the liquor store, and on his way out, there was a Hispanic male who was wearing some type of a security guard outfit. For some reason mistook the victim and brandished the firearm. The victim called 911, and deputies got there, and we started the investigation. So within a couple of hours, we identified the suspect, wrote arrest warrants, did surveillance, and stopped them leaving another location, threatening somebody with a firearm. He was a known felon with an unregistered pistol with no serial number. They're called ghost guns. A lot of them out there. This guy had everything: a taser, pepper spray. He was out on bail. It was ridiculous, but that's the other one that we handle. MAC committee and the public. He says that he is highly committed to protecting Bloomington community, mainly with the schools. And he told me to tell you guys that there are a lot of guns and a lot of dope dealers that most current and important cases that we've been working together with. I know there's other issues that we're going to get to. We've just been super busy with high priority events, but we'll talk about whatever else we can help you with and go from there. All right. Questions from the board? No? Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, up next, West Valley Water. Let's tell Deputy Nunez we said thank you for not being here today because he was doing an important job. So.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Greg Young. I'm the president of West Valley Water District. I'm here with Dan Jenkins, our vice president. Don't have too much for everyone tonight, and I know we have a lot of things coming up, so I'll keep it fairly brief, but did want to point out that we do have a wonderful newsletter that our staff puts together each month. You can sign up for it either via email or also through our any one of our social media accounts. And I did want to highlight a couple workshops which we had coming up for the fall here. I'm not quite sure how they go together, but I'm sure it'll be really fascinating. But we're having a succulent and pumpkin class on Saturday, October 26th. And then on November 16th, we're going to have a lawn conversion workshop. So if you're interested in converting some of your turf to some more less water using landscaping, we're going to have a workshop on that. So otherwise, just want everyone to have a wonderful month, and hopefully it'll start cooling off soon. So happy to answer any questions. November 16th. Yeah.
There's a question in the back.
Yes, yes, sir. I believe it's a rebate program, so you would still have to kind of do most of the work either with a contractor, but we do have rebates that you would be eligible for. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Well, we'll be here for a few minutes if anyone does.
Thank you for coming, gentlemen.
Thank
Have
you.
a great evening. All right, we have our first presentation of the evening with Union Pacific Railroad, Lupe Valdez.
Good evening, bless you. Good evening. My name is Lupe Valdez. I am with Union Pacific Railroad. Just a little bit of background because you don't know who I am. I serve as the Senior Director of Public Affairs for UP from Santa Barbara to Imperial Valley. But I tend to do a lot of stuff here in San Bernardino County for the most part. But I also cover the state of Arizona as well as Southern Nevada. So that's why in my contact information, I ask people to email me because I can pick up emails no matter where I'm at, and I travel a lot. And I don't have a team of people. The team is me. So that's when I need to be here. And I will just tell the person to go to the next slide so we can go through the presentation. Please just let me know if you have any questions. Union Pacific has been in business for 163 years. So it's an old firm, it's an old company, and yet there's a lot of changes and innovations that are happening. So we operate in 23 states. California is our biggest state along with Texas, but we have a lot of operations here, especially those that come from the ports of LA and Long Beach. That is a huge area for us. Currently, you are aware that the ports in the East Coast and the Gulf are on strike. We saw some increases happening already about 3 weeks ago. People were already getting concerned about the potential strike that's happening. being briefed on it on a daily basis, but so far we're managing whatever the increase that's happening on the West Coast ports. But we're seeing that all the way through from Oregon all the way to, Seattle, Oregon, Oakland, and Southern California. We're all seeing that kind of slight uptick. We're hoping that it gets resolved, but obviously that's a labor dispute that's currently going that's going to be impacting us no matter how long it takes. But that is kind of one of the world things that is happening on our system. We also have business together between Mexico and the United States, particularly in California and Arizona, along with Texas. So those are a lot of the states that handle a lot of the international cargo, at least that comes in from Mexico to the US. Other railroads do as well, but we have 6. Tonight I want to regard to how it's been. I've been with UP 18 years, but before that, I was with the South Coast AQMD as well as in public transit. I worked with Metrolink for a number of years before I came over to UP. So I have both the public transit side and now the freight side and the public and the private combination. Go to the next slide. Electeds, regional groups, to deal with issues, impacts, et cetera. I will tell you right now, as the Sheriff Department just stated, one of our big challenges in Southern California, and it's actually happening in just not California, but it is cargo theft. We actually had a situation where I also have to commend the Fontana Sheriff because we average, let me go stop a train. These are folks that are, they are very calculating. They know what they're doing. In some cases, unfortunately, we do have cartels that are behind the scenes doing this. But what they found out was they were taking sell at a liquor store that was stolen, and they were able to get ABC involved, Montana as well as Los Angeles. So the theft issue has really caught us not off guard. You've always had some theft. Not compared to what we're having today. The governor's legislation will help tremendously. I know there's also a measure on the ballot. Those things will really help to strengthen the laws to be able to prosecute people these thefts. So we're happy about that, especially in California. So I do want to mention that. I think the other thing I want to mention on the community concern is homelessness. Ongoing issue. I probably work half of my time on homelessness issues. It's a really challenging issue for us because we've even hired a nonprofit to go out to try to get these folks to take service. Whatever local services are in whatever county, that's who we work with. Unfortunately, we can't force people to take service. That's part of the challenge, I think, is that, and we don't want them there. It's not a safe place for them to be there. They shouldn't be there. But it's one of the challenges we face right now in the environment we live in. So we work a lot with San Bernardino County, with the Sheriff's Department, as well as with the county on to take services that are available to the local. But that's kind of an ongoing issue that we're currently having. Why don't you go to the next slide? I want to talk a little bit about the intermodal facility that we have. For years, we had a facility, we call it a manifest facility, which means it didn't have trucks. It just that would come in by train. So you had lumber, you had concrete, you had different types of commodities that would come through. Much of these commodities are local. They don't come off ports. These tend to be domestic products for the most part because we have another facility near Port of LA and Long Beach that handles most of the port traffic. We also have now opened another intermodal facility in Phoenix. So now what we're offering is for folks coming to the ports of LA and Long Beach, they can have a direct train. They don't have to stop. They go through obviously Southern California, but they go straight to Phoenix. And that's a service that we're seeing pick up as more people want to, they're not coming straight to California, they're coming to other parts of the country, and Phoenix is ending up being another market. We just opened that probably about less than a year ago. So that's a new service that we're offering in Phoenix. We have a big office, rail yard in Tucson, but that's not intermodal. That is just very similar to the manifest business that we had here in Colton. In May of 2021, we opened what we call a pop-up, which was offering intermodal service at our facility. I should mention our facility, and let me move over to the next one. I want to go to the map, so because I think it'll be easier if I talk a little bit about the map. our facilities tend to be banana shaped. They're long, they're not square. So the intermodal facility for us, the Colton Yard for us starts in Fontana, ends in kind of Colton. That's kind of the length. So I go through Fontana, Rialto, Bloomington, and Colton. I go through all those jurisdictions. So it covers a number of different cities. The facility for the most part, had always had manifest. And when we started the pop-up, this was for our customers, for people that wanted to drop off a load or pick up a load, the closest place they would go to is the City of Industry in LA County. So that would mean that anyone who had a load that were our customers, they would have to go to the City of Industry. So they would either take the 10 or the 60 to get to the City of Industry, because that was the closest intermodal facility we had. I know BNSF has their facility in San Bernardino. We did not. So when we opened the pop-up, we were really looking at trying to cut travel time and try to be more efficient with trucks that were coming in. And for the most part, we have our entrance and exit to our existing intermodal service is actually in the city of Fontana. It's off of Tamarind Place. There's a Tamarind Street and a Tamarind Place. It's Tamarind Place is private, and so it's a private drive near Sierra Avenue. So we have the trucks that come in there and they exit there at the moment. In the future, there are plans that we will have another entrance as we're building up that facility, because there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into the facility. There are tracks and there is drainage, and you have to do a lot of the plans to make sure you accommodate any kind of growth in the future. But in the future, it looks like we will have our entrance at Spruce. But today, it's on Tamarind. Both the entrance and the exits are at Tamarind. And there's enough room where they have not had any problems on Slover. Because that was the other thing that when we worked with the county is making sure nothing backs up on Slover, since in places it's a 4-lane, but it's 2 lanes in one direction, in each direction. So we wanted to make sure that there was no spillage of any of the domestic trucks coming in to drop off a load or pick up a load. So that's how they currently move right now in and out of our yard. We started, like I said, in May in 2021, and we are future phases as we're building probably will take another 3 to 4 years, just because there's a lot of work that has to happen to make sure that, because we're continuing to work in that. It's not like we can stop one part of our business to do this. We have to also maintain the truck, you're bordered by the 10 freeway, and then you have the border of Slover on the further south side, especially in the Bloomington community. That tends to be between Riverside and Cedar. That tends to be what you see the bulk. There has been a fence that's been built there for security. We were having break-ins of landscaping. Again, looking at landscape that is drought resistant, drought tolerant, and doesn't, but is nice type. Still have to work on that. We haven't done that yet. So we are working on that for that facility there. For the most part, my understanding is at least one to come into our facility than to go to the City of Industry to deliver a load. We don't have anything further east. So I think my first stop further east is going to be in Indio. I have a yard in further Indio, but this has been it's been a interesting project, because again, I don't know if we have ever had a change like that, in the sense that we had a yard that was dedicated to only having, we could do it efficiently and make sure that we served our customers that are out there, that especially those that are in the Inland Empire, because there wasn't a close location. Let me stop just to ask if you have any questions with regard to and you see a picture in the presentation on the lower left on the type of fence we have. So let me stop there to see if there's any questions with regard to that facility.
So we were asked how many truck trips in and out of the Bloomington location at the new intermodal facility will there be on a daily basis?
Yeah, I don't, some of that information may not be available to the public because I'm in a competitive situation. But right now it's, I can probably get back to you with a range of what the trucking looks like. It started very, I mean, it started, it was just rerouting of trucks. The trucks exist, but they were just going to our city, our customers going to the city of industry versus coming here. So I'll give you a range and I'll ask our staff what the current count is. I didn't have a chance to get the current idea of what the current count is.
Okay, and if you can get that to the supervisor's office for us, we'd appreciate that. Thank you. This is not in regards to really the new facility, but these are two concerns that I seen a lot on our local Bloomington pages. One was, is there anything that can be done about the squealing that comes from when the trains are coming in? Because it's very loud, like, and I mean, it could be heard on the north side,
Right.
located by where that alarm is
Okay.
going off of, but it is those are the two very often
Okay.
frequent topics on our
No.
Bloomington pages.
And so the first one is, and they're two different things. So I thought we had, not calmed down, but I thought we had, when the trains come in, before they hit what's called they move without a locomotive. It's remote controlled how they're moved into the bowl, and they go into the different rail tracks to be able to move wherever they're going to move next. We group them together by destination. Those are called retarders, and they are meant to make sure that out that problem. So I need to go back because I thought we did have a crazy alarm that was going, and it was affecting more the south folks. I
Yes,
thought
it
it was in
is.
the south, not.
But you can hear
You
it
can hear
on
it,
the north
right.
side as well.
So,
yes.
so let me find out about that, but I thought that had been taken care of because there was something going on with the alarm system that was going way beyond what it was supposed to be. But it was an alarm system on the retarders as well. But it was, the way it was projecting was unfortunately out versus it should not have been projecting that. So I will find out about the retarders and the alarm.
Okay.
And let me find out what the current
That
situation
would be
is.
appreciated because we have a
Okay,
lot of
and I'll
very
find out.
angry residents issues.
Yeah, and it is, I've been next to these, so I do know. And Mhm. Oh. It's a pretty busy little credit union. I know it's small, but it's a pretty busy, but I'll find, I had not heard that we plan to move it at all as we're.
Hello.
Okay, is that better? Yes, okay. Whatever the local traffic routes are that the cities determine, that's what we have to follow, that any of our operations have to follow those truck routes. So we can't, that's within the city or the county jurisdiction that we're in. But we were not required to do we did not required to do a truck study here. Mhm. Right. It's more related to being a railroad across the country because of the network that we serve a country. So it is more Surface Transportation Board as well as the FRA. Those are the two federal agencies that oversee us. In the state of California, the regulatory authority comes over the California Public Utilities Commission. They regulate us at crossings, public or private in California. But in terms of the system, it is done through Surface Transportation Board and the Federal Railroad Administration under Department of Transportation. No, we do. So we work with whatever jurisdiction we're in. So let's say this is a case for water drainage. We don't just create our own. We have to work with stormwater, state and county to make sure that we're doing everything in accordance. So we follow whatever the rules are with regard to like exiting or entering a facility, whatever the local city that we're in, we do follow those stop signs, or in this case, it tends to be for the facility right now, and I don't think this will change because the streets aren't going to change, right in, right out, meaning that when the trucks come in, they take a right turn. When they exit, they take a right turn. So so that's more the flow to make sure that nothing blocks, and there's no capacity to make that left anyway because there's no light. So it's right in, right out when you come in and come out. Those would go to Sierra. Right today, they come off of Tamarind. Correct. That is correct. When we add, yes, they would be on to Cedar, right in or right out. So coming out, they would probably come, if they were coming there, they would come through Riverside, and then right in to the facility. And then if they're coming out, now Tamarind will still be open. So not all the trucks will, so we're thinking that most of the trucks are going to still be using Tamarind because that's where some of the parking lots are, where we park containers. They're closer to Tamarind, so they're kind of in the city of Fontana. Right. Okay. No, Tamarind, sorry, is closer to Sierra. It's like a little teeny. There's two Tamarind streets off of. It's right east of Sierra. Yeah. Do you? Well, no, no. Right. They have to turn right. There is no room for them to make a left. Correct. They have to make a right. Yes. Correct. Correct. But folks may be coming off of Riverside to come into the facility. Coming off of Riverside to come into the facility. Make a right turn on Slover, and then right into the entrance. At this point, they don't use, that entrance doesn't exist today, but it will exist in the future. They would, no, they don't have to cross Cedar. They'll do Spruce. They would go in at Spruce, which is before you get to Cedar, yeah. And next time I'll bring a bigger street map, because I apologize, that map is too small.
Yes, Joaquin.
No, I'm sorry.
Joaquin has a question.
Joaquin? It's,
You want to make it seem like it's not going to be much of a change, but if you're adding a new entrance and you're saying that the coffee industry is not going to be used, then how are you going to be sending more to this one?
well, it's these, yeah, and right, and let me clarify. These trucks were here, and they were going to industry. It's not that I'm sending trucks from industry to here. Those are still over there. What I'm saying is that we didn't have an intermodal facility that could handle trucks in San Bernardino or Riverside. So they're now going, the folks that are here in San Bernardino and Riverside, it's mostly San Bernardino are going to be served by that facility. So I'm not bringing in trucks from industry. Those are getting the LA trucks. Well, yeah, because I didn't have an intermodal facility before. So it's not transparency. The issue is not transparency. It's the issue that I'm in a competitive environment. If I didn't compete in this business, there's different things publicly. I also, you may see it as transparency. It's not. It's because I'm in a competitive environment. So it's a little different on a private company versus if I was a public company, it's a little different. But I can get a range to see what the current volumes are to give both the supervisor and the advisory committee an idea of range of trucks that facility that's intended for that facility. Yes, sure. Sure. Right. Sure. Okay. Sure. On an intermodal facility, what you have is you either have people dropping off a truck or a container, I should say, dropping off a container or picking up a container. Sometimes you have one truck doing both. So sometimes they drop off a load and then pick up a load. So all of these folks are contracted by different companies. And so they're not our trucks, but they have to meet all the requirements. Like if a truck pulls into our facility and we see something that's not right with that truck, they cannot go onto our facility, safety-wise. We are in post 9/11 world, and we do not take we don't even allow for public. There's a lot of discussion going on public charging stations for the future of electric trucks. I can't allow for that on my property because they have to be cleared by a number of different safety factors as their drivers. And so I have to make sure that those folks aren't there for doing something negative. Okay. Yes, it is 24. It hasn't materialized as much. I mean, it's even the ports aren't 24/7, but we operate trains 24/7. Yeah, because we have to move. Some of you may have seen the lithium situation that happened in the Port of LA. Talk about stopping us. It stopped. I had trains backed up into Yuma and into New Mexico because of that. I mean, we run. We have to run, and it was. I'm hoping that one day the fire department, all of us learn about this lithium because I think it has some benefits, but I think we also see some challenges with the technology. But that's part of. Yes, you're right on the intermodal. Okay, sorry. Yes.
This is pretty cool because back in the 50s and the 60s, we once had a farm of Riley corn. At the intention of right along above Clover by the railroad. This is what it was intended for. Was this is the slotted area for the warehouses, the businesses that that. My husband and I are familiar with it because we used to go with Long Beach with J.D. Hunt, England, removal of the trailers. Right. We're glad to hear that you're very, very set on designating the trucks, the trailers. I used to work with Bradley in the Lemons and setting tow booths all over the United States.
Right.
So, pretty good. Cool. It's nice to see some of the old, but a newer version of it coming back.
Right.
So,
Right.
Thank you,
Right.
Roxanne.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? I think we're good. Thank you
Okay.
so much
You're
for your
welcome. And
presentation.
I'll be back to give you a further update and get you some of the information on the retarders, the alarms,
I appreciate
the
that.
credit union, and the truck range.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
great.
We appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, guys, I am going to ask that if you meant this is our last call, please bring up your comment cards to these lovely young ladies so we can get you guys up here. Next up, we have Bob regarding a Bloomington roadwork improvement project update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob with the Bloomington Roadwork Project. To give you the update, just to note, nothing has changed since the last month. So if you want to flip through these, next.
Can we keep the talking down a little bit? Because we can't hear him. Thank you, guys.
The 11th Street, we had a partial closure on 11th Street, but that reopened and we got them in. And then later in January, we're going to close it again and put the sidewalks and the street improvements in. Next slide. Locust is still closed. We're working on the water lines and sewer lines, and are going to put the storm line in pretty soon. We're just waiting to get all the final permits. We have some of them, not the ones for the storm yet, but we expect to get them soon. And we still are looking to reopen in April. After when Locust opens, it's going to be 4 lanes instead of 2, and have signal lights at 7th and 11th in Europa, and trails along the west side, and walking trails and horse trails, similar to how it is down the road south. Linden Avenue is going to have a partial closure. It's closed now. That's not our project. That's another project. Our project just puts a sewer line in, so we still plan on doing that sometime in December, possibly. Just depends on when we get our permit for that. We understand the school issue. We talk to the schools, and we're going to work around their schedule. So if we have to do it on the holiday break or in weekends or whatever, that's what we're going to do. So that's basically our updates. If you have any questions anytime, let us know. We'll be here. I'll be here after. And we have your ability to get in contact with the project on screens out around the area. And so we're always available to answer any questions you have. Yes. Yes. We have to get permits for city and county. It's kind of odd, but for example, Locust and Armstrong on the west side is city and on the south side is county. And so everything it's basically the city of Fontana and the county both. Any other questions?
Thanks for the update. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next up is approval of minutes, but Anna wasn't here last time, so we can't go with that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And we're going to bring Jessica back up here with an update of something.
Good evening again. Again, my name is Jessica. I'm with Office of Supervisor Joe Baca Jr. And we are here tonight because, as we mentioned earlier, we were able to get the Bloomington Kessler Park mural taken care of, and that took place, the painting, earlier this month or last month. I want to recognize our partner, Arts Connection, for all the collaboration that they've had. So we do have a plaque of certificate for them, and we want to say thank you. So on behalf of Supervisor Joe Baca Jr., it is our honor to officially recognize and thank Arts Connection for the beautiful artwork brought to Kessler Park through a mural that truly represents the essence of Bloomington. We appreciate the commitment in providing this for the community, and thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I would love to get a picture. I do want to say something really quickly. One, it's an honor to come back home. As I mentioned, I grew up in Bloomington. I went to Bloomington High School. I'm an alumni, and for me, it's full circle to be back. Finding a way to give back to the community that raised me and made me who I am. I have a lot of grit and passion because of Bloomington and Bloomington High School and my mentors. I'm excited that there is another grant that we've received. So this is just the beginning of many, many more projects and collaborations. And so I'll be hoping to present sometime in November with more possibilities of more projects for the upcoming year. So yeah, thank you so much. More arts in the parks, more fun, more collaboration, and a way to bring community together and continue the momentum on the artwork ultimately. So yeah, thank you.
For those of you who may not know about the mural, they had an actual community paint day where they let the community come down and they kind of did the mural like paint by number. And kids, everybody, we had a lot of people there that came down and got to put their mark on it. And it was actually a really beautiful thing. I got there a little late, but I was glad at least we got to make it. But honestly, it was nice. It was really nice not to just be able to go out and be like, I painted something that I'm going to see every day, but just to see all the different people that came and were excited about participating in it. And I snuck a peek today, and it was gorgeous. So I hope you guys come out on Saturday to see that.
There is flyers for the unveiling. It's Saturday at 8:30 in the morning. And just one last thing I want to mention is, honestly, this work wouldn't be possible without the artists and community coming together and the collaboration. So ultimately, like, the work, this award goes to the artists and community, and I'm just grateful to receive it on their behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. Rosie and everybody that she enlisted to come in and do that did a fantastic job. Really is. I'm excited to see what other things are coming this way. I got on the phone that night and I was like, Supervisor Baca, we need more of these. Thank you so much. It was great. All right. So now approval of minutes. So Anna was not here at the last meeting, so we have to wait to approve the minutes, correct? Okay, so that will be postponed to our next meeting. Now we are going to go to public comment, and first up is Mr. Dave Jane.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a tired man. I just put on a big rodeo up here in the war. Got finished today. So anyway, I want to invite every one of you to October 26th. I know it's a busy day. Kids, special needs kids, going off on horseback, putting on horseback, taking them out of their wheelchairs. It's a good special event. Come out and see what we do. And hope to see you there. Got lunch. We start at 9:30 in the morning. We'll go till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we'll go home, clean up and go home. But we'd love to have you come out there and see the kids get out of things. I got one little story I want to tell you. Last year, I had a young lady that came up to me in a wheelchair, and she said, Mr. Jane, she said, I got to apologize. And I said, why? She said, because I can't get on a horse this year. The doctor told me no. But she still came out. She's been coming out for the last 4 years. And that just breaks my heart to see these kids do this. And like I say, you guys come out and see it and watch. It's very important to me and important to Bloomington. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, up next we have Maria Morales.
Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es al revés. Sorry. Hi, mi nombre es María Morales. Right.
Hello?
Okay, again. My name is María Morales. So I need necesito hablar un poco sobre la seguridad de Bloomington. Quiero saber, deseo saber qué es lo que piensan hacer sobre nuestra seguridad porque están habiendo muchos robos. Yo vivo allí desde el 99 y nunca me habían robado jamás. Y hace como 2 meses aproximadamente me robaron y una cantidad muy grande de $5,000 a mi propiedad. Y, yeah. Oh, okay.
Hi, my name is Maria Morales. I'm here today to talk about safety in Bloomington. I've lived in Bloomington many years, and there's recently seen a lot. For the first time, I've lived there so many years, and I experienced robbery for material that's over $5,000.
Llamé a la policía y hicieron un reporte, pero fue por teléfono y dijeron que iban a ir a investigar, pero nunca llegaron conmigo. Yo sé que tampoco nunca llegaron con los vecinos.
I called the police and made a report, and they said they were going to investigate, but they never came. I had to do a report over the phone, and they never came with me or my neighbors.
Eso sucedió a mi persona, pero también sé que han habido muchos robos ahí a otras personas en mi comunidad, en los liquors, en las esquinas, matan personas y yo no miro que estén haciendo algo a favor de nosotros. Nos están inundando con warehouse y todo eso, pero nuestra seguridad está quedando fuera y eso nunca había pasado así.
I've been seeing, more robberies, deaths. They've been stealing not only from me but from other people in the community, the liquors and everything. And it seems that you're bringing a bunch of warehouses, or there's a bunch of warehouses coming in, but you're not caring about the safety.
Ese es uno de los puntos que quería hablar y la otra cosa que quería pedirles que tuvieran personas que traducieran en español para las personas que no dominamos exactamente el inglés, porque vinieron personas ahorita y ellos no entendieron nada de lo que fue aquí la junta. Y así hay mucha gente que quiere venir, pero por la razón que no vienen es porque no se habla inglés, perdón, no hablan español, no traducen español.
I'm also here today to ask that these meetings be translated. I need translation. A lot of folks came here today that are here, but they can't understand what's going on because they need translation. And a lot of people in the community who want to participate and be part of these meetings, but they can't because you guys don't speak Spanish.
Entonces, lo que más importa es la seguridad de Bloomington, de nosotros, los gente que somos muy pocos, quedamos muy pocos por lo que están construyendo warehouse y todo, y muchos ya han vendido, ya se fueron, pero de todos modos nosotros también ocupamos seguridad, que nos pongan más importancia a nuestros niños, a todo lo que está pasando con nosotros ahí en Bloomington. Siento que ya no tenemos mucha seguridad como antes.
What's more important over everything is the safety in Bloomington. There's that we need to put more importance into the safety in Bloomington. There's a lot of people who left and sold already, but those who stay, like, we still matter, and we need more safety in the community.
Entonces, les pido por favor que tomen en consideración eso y muchas gracias por darme tiempo para hablar.
I hope that you take that into consideration, and thank you for the opportunity to talk.
Joaquin, I have a question. Can you ask her, did she happen to make contact with the sheriffs when they were here, the sheriff's department today? Okay. Maybe we could see if she could, is he still here? Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see him. Sorry, you were hiding. And if you could just express to her, Joaquin, the importance of, I understand her call did not get handled, but if you can express to her the importance of continuing to call. We have been told before previously that to continue to make those phone calls because they have to handle every call that comes in. And the more calls that they get, they can see the actual need of service. Because I'll be honest, I did talk with them in the past. We did have concerns prior to getting these new sheriffs or the new deputies that we received. I was one of the people that never called a lot of the times because I was like, well, the response time it's not going to help me out. But it is very important that we continue to still keep making those calls so that they can see the need of services, please. Thank you. Next up, and thank you, Joaquin, for translating. We appreciate that. Next up, Francisco Morales.
Ok. Buenas noches a todos, cada uno. Yo soy una persona que vivo en Bloomington. Quisiera saber qué es lo que van a hacer en Bloomington con las construcciones. Si van a hacer, dicen bodegas, pero necesitamos una universidad, un colegio de tecnología, una estación de policía que esté ahí también, tal vez clínicas para médicas, negocios como creo no como hoy, pero algo para negocios, que haya un shopping center o algo, porque las bodegas no nos traen nada bueno a todos.
Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Francisco Morales, and I'm here today to ask about the construction. What's going on with the construction? What we need in Bloomington is universities, medical centers, technological schools, shopping centers, but not warehouses. They don't benefit anybody.
Porque es lo que necesitamos, una preparación para todos los niños, no para nosotros, ya estamos ya mayores, vamos como dicen, down the hill, de bajada, pero las otras generaciones, como todos acá, tenemos hijos, tenemos nietos, bisnietos, ¿y qué les dejamos a un futuro?
It's not even for us, but for the future generations. We're already on our way out, but for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, what are we going to be leaving them?
So, no les dejamos nada. Entonces necesitamos hacer algo como ustedes, como autoridades, hacer algo para el futuro de esas generaciones, para las bodegas, que hagan otra cosa, algo mejor. Me imagino que ustedes tienen el poder de hacerlo, porque nosotros como comunidad ya nos patearon como cualquier cosa porque no tenemos ningún precio, porque las personas que van a hacer las bodegas son gente millonaria o billonaria que pagaron millones de dólares por todas las propiedades de Bloomington. Y es una vergüenza para todos.
So I'm asking you to use your authority to do something like this, to stop the warehouses. I'm imagining that you have some power to influence or to do something about this. The community, we've been kicked and tossed around. The developers come in with millions or possibly billions of dollars. They buy out homes for millions of dollars, and it's an embarrassment for Bloomington.
Entonces, digan ustedes qué van a hacer con Bloomington. Les pido, por favor, que hagan algo mejor. No nos hagan bodegas. Háganos otra cosa mejor para las nuevas generaciones, para vivir mejor en Bloomington. Como los señores oficiales allá, con respeto a los alguaciles de Condado de San Bernardino, nos han hecho vandalismo de vez en cuando. Hemos hablado, nunca llegan. Una ocasión, robaron un catalítico de un vehículo de un amigo mío en la casa. Hablamos, nunca llegaron. hasta que llegó un pandillero. Entonces mi amigo y yo corrimos y le dijimos, hey, no te vas a ir porque si te vas a ir mal. Entonces hablamos a la policía y llegaron, como 4 patrullas con las luces apagadas llegaron, agarraron al pandillero y luego se lo llevaron. Pero el día siguiente, ella andaba afuera otra vez.
So we want to know what you're gonna do with Bloomington. What are your plans? You know, what's gonna happen? Also with the safety, or you know, no offense to the sheriffs here, the county sheriffs, but you know, recently they stole a catalytic converter of one of my friends, and you know, we called the police, and they never came. And then there was a gang member or someone, and they got arrested, or the police came for them and they got arrested, but we saw them out the next day.
Entonces es todo lo que nos han hecho y así mucho vandalismo en el barrio. Entonces, por favor hagan algo por Bloomington, no nos abandonen, hagan algo para que las bodegas ya no sigan, hagan otra cosa ahí, colegios, universidades, para que sea Bloomington un lugar muy bonito y nuestros hijos no tengan que ir allá a las universidades de Ontario, otros lugares, por ahí, otras ciudades para poder estudiar, teniendo territorio ahí. Gracias.
So last thing, you know, let's think about the safety of Bloomington, the future. Let's build something else. Let's build a university so our kids won't have to go in other cities to get their education. We have space. Let's build something here, and yeah, just think about Bloomington and do something for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Morales, and thank you, Joaquin, again for translating. We appreciate you. Next up, Efren Perez.
I don't know if you guys are able to answer it or not, because I haven't seen anybody ask you guys a question directly yet.
Because we have public cards. Is it okay for him to turn one in?
Oh, okay, because I guess I'll just put it out
Can-
there. I don't
can
know
he
if
do it?
somebody's able to refer me. This is regarding the warehouses, the projects that are going on and that will be going on in the future in Bloomington. I would like to know if there's any resource to point to the citizens of Bloomington of what are the pros for Bloomington, and also like what's the business plan of these companies? Who are these companies? So that us as citizens can be informed to exactly what's going on. Transparency. What are the resources that we can go to? Like, where can we get these questions answered?
So if you come to our MAC meetings, like we had a few presentations today, usually they'll go to the supervisor's office and then the developer will come in here. I'll be honest, sometimes they don't always make it here, but they've been very diligent about trying to make sure that a developer comes in and speaks to the public beforehand. So if you look on the back table, there are cards like this that say public comment at the top. So you can fill one out. And we are trying to be a little bit more open with the format. So like if a developer is here or someone is giving a presentation, depending on what our agenda looks like, we're trying to let people speak. And as long as we can keep it civil and in a good mannerism, we are fine with trying to allow people to speak now. However, you know, that's kind of given on how the meeting is going. You know, but you are always welcome to ask questions during public comment. You can ask a question, make a comment. The agencies or the developers majority of the time will stay as late as they possibly can. They'll usually let you know, hey, I'm going to have to duck out early. And at that point in time, if you want questions or statements, you can always talk to them in the back or outside one-on-one and ask them those things as well at that time. If there's something specific that you're looking for, we can always reach out to the staff at Supervisor Baca's office. She has a card for you. You can always feel free to ask them a question, give them a call, and they'll, you know, give you the information that you're requesting.
So any resident of Bloomington would have to basically call here if they wanted to know like what's going on with the companies. with the projects like the warehouses. They would have. Okay. Okay. I mean, this is pretty cool. I mean, I just think would be even better since everything's online now. If you guys had everything, like some key points at least, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. All right. But thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Much for coming down.
Good evening, Efren Perez here. I just have comments about with all the warehouses that are being built. I was hoping that the warehouses, as they're building their warehouses, if they can work on our streets, because if you go up and down Santa Ana, this is their like a truck route, and it even has big signs that says nothing over 5 tons. I used to work in a moving business, and I know what a 5-ton looks like and how it weighs, and all these trucks are just going down there like they don't care. Whether it's in the morning or in the evening, and they're going by the school, and it bothers me. And then that traffic bothers me a lot because it's going by just by the school. And a comment, getting off the subject a little bit, the quads that we were talking about earlier are right across the high school. That's where they come out of. And there's like 3 or 4 of them that come out of there. One evening on my way home, I almost crashed into one because he had no lights. And it was the last minute I saw this kid. I swear, I think I would have killed him, but I missed him. And as far as Kessler Park, we talk a lot about Kessler Park here, Kessler Park there, and we don't have any other parks around our neighborhood. I live off of Mindanao and Linden, and there's no, just a housing development. And even our street, in our cul-de-sac, the cracks are from this house to that house, and they never get built. They never get fixed. I've been there like 8 years. My neighbor's been there for almost 40 years, and he says, "You think somebody would work on our street?" But, maybe we have to call the city, but we did have a gas leak during one of the rains, and they did come and patch the street, and they had to evacuate everybody from there, and they did fix the gas leak. And then I was asking for somebody to maybe have a park on our area, build a park. The Kessler Park is busy, but you can have another park where people can take their kids and their strollers and whatnot. I know that Fontana has a park at Citrus and Santa Ana, I believe, and this brand new, beautiful complex. And I said, well, I thought that was for us, but it's Fontana, it's not Bloomington. And let's see. And I feel that if our law enforcement had more help, they could get a lot more done for our community, because I know that they only have a handful of people, and I see so many things that happen that are they're violating the streets. Traffic is
That's time.
out of control. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So Efren, I don't know if you were here when code enforcement was here earlier, but as far as like the repairs, like cracks and stuff on your street, they did mention an app called SBC County Code Reporter, where you can take pictures and shoot it over to them of things that need to be done. So if you'd like, at the end, I can get with you and give you the information. And then also on the back of the agenda, is code enforcement information on there?
There's
Yeah.
also an app called C-Click Fix where you're able to take pictures and report any concerns, but also please feel free to reach out. If you don't mind, I'll be happy to take down your address. I'll be happy to take down your address and then we can follow up on your request.
Sorry, guys, like I said, I'm filling in, so just a reminder, if you are only not needing translation, it is 3 minutes. If you are needing translation, we do allow for 6 minutes, correct? Okay. And so up next is Joaquin.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Joaquin Castellanos. I'm here today to speak on a few issues. First, translation. Translation at these meetings. You already heard. ¿Cuántos aquí solo are monolingual Spanish speakers out of here today that are not able to understand what's happening in the meeting and want to participate and they want to come, but these type of situations discourage them. And I'm sure that everyone else here who is able to hear, do we want our Spanish speaking community to participate in these meetings? Everyone who's English speaking? Yeah, we do, right? So I think it's important that we take this into, ever since I've been coming to these meetings, there has been no translation. It's something that's been coming up repeatedly. We put a big fence around the park. We do the snack bar, but we can't get 2 hours of translation once a month. It doesn't make sense to me. And I want you guys to take this and directly to Joe Baca and tell them we need translation. Take it out of his paycheck that they give him or whatever. It's not that expensive. I'll give you a card. There's a lady who charges $75 an hour. You get that? Like, why is our community not worth that? We want to know what kind of load fixtures there's going on, the roads, the warehouses, the presentations. This is our information that's important for the community, or whenever there's events, people want to know what's going on. So it's important that we have translation. Second, I'm gonna speak for my mom. She had to leave today, but how is it possible that we're having two constructions at once and that is completely disrupting the lives of people who live above Linden Avenue in the number streets? They're not able to leave their homes only through 7th Street, or they have to go all the way around Armstrong to leave their kids, to do anything. If there's an emergency, it's going to take longer. It's disrupting the lives of everyone. And I talked to someone in Public Works today, actually, and they were telling me that there's procedures for this. There's supposed to be ways for traffic control where it's not disrupting the lives, and they're like doing one piece at a time. But what they did here, they closed off the entire Linden. Like, are we not like talking in between each other or something? Like I know there's different construction projects, but the county should be like taking this into consideration. And I would like you guys to take this to Joe Baca too, and let him know that a lot of people are being affected by that, and they need these streets to be open. This is school season. Kids are going to school. People don't even want to go to the store anymore because of how much of a hassle it is to get out of that area. So any future projects, any future constructions, it should not be an occasion where two streets are blocked off, two important arteries, and people are like closed off from exiting their homes. And lastly, why is there not more MAC members here? If people are not going to come if they don't want to be on the MAC anymore, let's get new people. And there's people in the community who want to be part of the MAC, and I'm sure they will sign up and they will be here every Wednesday. So let's get
That's
those
time.
people here. And lastly, the warehouse lawsuit, and you guys have supported that, and they lost. They didn't give enough measures for the community. It's an embarrassment for Bloomington. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And up next, Roxanne Bazo.
I hope I'm getting to the mic. If I'm not, let me know. Sometime earlier. This one? Okay, thank you. Sometime earlier this month, there was a supervisors meeting where the supervisors met. I and probably several others of us were not able to attend. The supervisors were there telling what was new, what was upcoming with the future of our San Bernardino County. So our rep comes tonight, and there's like 5 sentences. It would have been nice to hear a little bit from that meeting about what was on the plans. So for November, it would be nice if Mr. Baca could be invited to let us know if there was anything discussed upcoming for Bloomington. Because like the gentleman said, we'd like to know what is going on more into the future of Bloomington. That's one of the reasons why we have the MAC. The one gentleman has been asking for last 2 years, because yes, we do have a lot of Hispanic individuals here. And I see more than one person sitting over there. It would be nice if our supervisors did get us a Spanish interpreter. Next of all, I'm really disgusted over hearing that the very first item that we have down in Kessler, that's been there for countless years, countless, before it was even designated as a park. That horse arena's been there for years, way in the 60s, the 70s, and it's the last item to be beautified. Oh, it was the last thing to get bathrooms. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a lot of people who do use that, and he does have events. And it would be nice if he's notified way in ahead of time that there's upcoming, because as he said, yes, there have been items that he's totally had to tell kids, I'm sorry. So when you're planning ideas to do things there, have the decency to call him. Have the decency to find out if that weekend is free. Yeah, in a way, he's supposed to be notifying you guys, but it goes both ways. Number one, other, is there's now equipments hitting at the old park where the animal park is going. My family has ran off 2 to 3 groups of kids that have now been around that
That's
equipment.
time.
1 second. The supervisors, because it is county property, need to advise the sheriff department to please run by occasionally at nighttime and check, because damage will start happening with the equipment, and that will delay the park.
Thank you, Roxanne. We'll connect with you offline.
Okay, that concludes public comment. We will now be moving on to any old business. Anna? Angela? Okay, no old business. Any new business? Nope. Very good. All right, community events. You want to talk?
Yes. We have our trunk or treat coming up on the 31st. We have at Kessler Park. We also have in November 2nd here at Ayala Park, Dia de los Muertos. That's our 4th one that I believe that we're doing. And I think that's it. Next Thursday is food pantry at Kessler Park. So, and I think that's all for our events.
And for me, I am just going to let you know we are starting our winter ball season Saturday. Again, we will have the unveiling for the mural on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. And one of our young Girl Scouts, Caitlin Valencia, came over and asked me if I could please share the flyer for the Girl Scouts. They are selling nuts and candies. They're very reasonable cost. I believe there's flyers on the back. If there's not and you're interested, you can come scan our QR code up here. It would be a great way to support our Girl Scouts. They are always doing a lot of things here in our communities, so we like to support them back. Other than, I believe, we have any MAC member reports? Nope. All right. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for coming. We will make sure that these notes get back to the supervisor, and we hope you guys have a safe drive home.